Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Sage Holistic Show, where we bring you all things related to physical, mental, and spiritual health and wellness. My name is Emily Sellis, and I'm your host. Today, we are going to hear from Sadaf Shalchian, who is one of our associate marriage and family therapists here at Sage, and she is going to inform you all about E.M.D.R. Stay tuned to find out what it is and how you can benefit from it.
Sage is a 501c3 nonprofit organization building community by providing education and counseling about physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. We encourage all of our listeners to find their own path to what holistic wellness means to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Sadaf Shalchian and I am an associate marriage and family therapist. Today I want to talk to you about a really highly effective psychotherapy technique for treating negative experiences you have encountered in life and also trauma. To start this, let me tell you that E.M.D.R. therapists have either been additionally trained or certified in E.M.D.R. therapy. When it comes to treating trauma, research shows that E.M.D.R. is one of the most highly effective psychotherapies. Let me tell you some of the statistics I have gotten from the E.M.D.R. Institute founded by Francine Shapiro, and then I'll tell you about what E.M.D.R. is and how it works, okay? Some of the studies show that about 90% of single trauma victims no longer have post-traumatic stress disorder after only 3 90-minute sessions. Another study that was funded by the HMO Kaiser Permanente found that 100% of the single trauma victims and 77% of multiple trauma victims no longer were diagnosed with PTSD after only 6 50-minute sessions. In another study, 77% of combat veterans were free of PTSD in 12 sessions. So what does this mean for you? Well, it means that E.M.D.R's treatment results are measurable. There has been so much research on E.M.D.R. therapy that it is now recognized as an effective form of treatment for trauma and other disturbing experiences by organizations like American Psychiatric Association, the World Health Organization, and the Department of Defense. Those are important organizations, right? They have done their research, they have approved the effectiveness by actual measures. So they made my job easier into deciding whether or not I should pay the extra money and the extra time to get trained in this, and probably your job easier into trusting the process. So what else do these statistics mean for you and I? Well, there are many other cases related to all kinds of different traumas. If E.M.D.R. was effective in those cases, we can trust how E.M.D.R. therapy would be effective in treating the everyday memories that are the reason people have low self-esteem, feelings of powerlessness, and all the myriad problems that bring them in for therapy. Millions of people have been treated successfully over the past 25 years. So are you ready to learn and to gain from E.M.D.R.? Now that I have hopefully gained your trust, let's finally talk about what E.M.D.R. even is. E.M.D.R. stands for Eye Movement, Desensitization, and Reprocessing, and it is a psychotherapy that enables people to heal from the symptoms and the emotional distress that are the results of disturbing life experiences. Sometimes you might think that your past experiences haven't impacted you. You might think, oh, I'm over it now, just because you don't necessarily feel upset about it. But oftentimes the negative experiences we go through as life goes on contaminates our current thought process, emotions, and even our behavior. Meaning, if you don't process your past the proper way, your past can actually bleed over your present, no matter how long ago or how hidden in the back of your mind it lives. So we are held back because of our inner core beliefs and fears. For instance, the reason behind the toxic relationships, dysfunctional reactions, emotional dysregulation, lack of self-discipline, lack of achieving what you set your mind to, incapability to love deeply, or lack of confidence, experience of shame and doubt and fear, or depression and anxiety. All those symptoms could be basically caused by our past understanding of ourselves and others through the lens of our past traumas or experiences. These traumas could come from any sexual, physical, emotional, or verbal abuse, or like childhood emotional neglect and parental abandonment could be very impactful in how we are today. Breakup of a relationship or a friendship, having a parent with mental illness or personality disorder or a substance use disorder. It could be trauma from embarrassment, betrayal, and affairs, or infidelity, infertility, or divorce. Your trauma could be from abrupt or extended relocation, legal trouble, even financial worries or difficulty, and of course, death of a family member, a lover, a friend, a teacher, or even a pet. Your trauma could be from a physical pain or injury or illness, natural disasters, witnessing a death, rape, or domestic abuse. Regardless of what the negative experience was, it influenced the way you are today, if your experience wasn't processed or healed the most helpful way. Recovery comes after surviving the event. Surviving is not the same thing as thriving. E.M.D.R. therapy is founded on the basis that our emotional well-being is branched with our physical or somatic state. So what E.M.D.R. does is that it employs a body-based technique called bilateral simulation, during which a therapist will guide the client through eye movements, tones, or taps in order to move the memory that has been incorrectly stored to a more functional part of the brain. So let me tell you how E.M.D.R. works, okay? Normally, the individual processes disturbing experiences naturally. However, when a person is severely traumatized either by an overwhelming event or by being repeatedly subjected to distress, this healing process may become overloaded, leaving the original disturbing experiences unprocessed. So during trauma, our brain processes and stores memories incorrectly, okay? This incorrect storage can lead to past memories feeling very present. And that is why related or unrelated stimuli in the present can lead to the person being triggered and reacting as they did at the time of the trauma. The brain feels as if the past disturbing event is happening currently. This means that the negative thoughts and the feelings of the traumatic event are trapped in the nervous system. Now pay attention to this part. Since the brain cannot process these emotions, the experiences and the feelings connected to them are often suppressed from consciousness. However, though, the distress lives on in the nervous system where it causes disturbances in the emotional functioning of the person. E.M.D.R. therapy corrects this misstorage so that the painful memories associated with trauma lose their charge or lose their power. After E.M.D.R., the client can react to stimuli in the present without the past interfering, okay? So this isn't to numb you, it's just actually healing you. You're just recovering, right? So as we talked about, E.M.D.R. uses bilateral simulation, and one of the techniques is rapid eye movement, left and right. And why this works is that it activates both brain hemispheres to enhance creative thinking in reprocessing and memory. It looks like this woo-woo thing, but it's really actually scientific. E.M.D.R. uses a natural function of the body, which is the rapid eye movement, or REM. The human mind uses the REM during sleep time to help it process daily emotional experiences. Now listen to this. There is some evidence that the eye movement perform a similar function to those that occur during REM sleep. Well, basically while we're dreaming, which we already know have a vital information processing function. The human mind uses REM during sleep time to help it process daily emotional experiences, right? When trauma is extreme though, this process breaks down and REM sleep doesn't bring the usual relief from stress. So now E.M.D.R. is thought to be an advanced stage of the REM processing. Does that make sense? As the brain processes the negative experiences through this eye movement, the emotions and the negative thoughts connected to the memory can be resolved. The eye movements during the E.M.D.R. session do two very important things. First, they unlock the negative memories and emotions stored in the nervous system. And secondly, they help the brain to successfully process the experience. So that's what we're going to do in a session. Basically, the therapist works gently with the client, guiding him or her to revisit the traumatic incident. When the memory is brought to the mind, the feelings are re-experienced in a new way. EMDR makes it possible to gain the self-knowledge and the perspective that will enable the client to choose their actions rather than feeling powerless over their reactions. You have heard that therapy takes a long time, right? That severe emotional pain requires a long time to heal, right? Well, repeated studies actually show that by using EMDR therapy for healing from trauma, people can experience the benefits of psychotherapy that once took years to make a difference. EMDR therapy shows that the mind can in fact heal from psychological trauma much as the body recovers from physical trauma. Isn't that cool? So cool thing is that science has proven that our bodies are amazing self-healing machines with automatic processes built into it to maintain health. For example, when you cut your hand, your body works to close the wound. If a foreign object or a repeated injury irritates the wound, it festers and it causes pain, right? Once the block is removed, healing resumes. EMDR therapy demonstrates that a similar sequence of events occur with mental processes as well. Remember the self-healing machine with automatic processes I just mentioned? Well, the brain's information processing system naturally moves towards brain health, mental health. Now, if the system is blocked or imbalanced by an impact of a disturbing event or the traumas we just talked about, the emotional wound festers and it can cause intense suffering. Once the block is removed though, healing resumes. So what EMDR therapists do is that we help clients activate their natural healing processes using the detailed protocols and procedures learned in EMDR. So EMDR therapy involves attention to 3 time periods: the past, the present, and the future. We focus to change the negative emotions connected to the past disturbing memories and the distress they cause in the present, and then developing alternative positive belief and the memory in addition to learning skills and attitudes needed for positive future actions. With EMDR therapy, these items are addressed using an 8-phase approach that you can read about on a link I provided on this blog post. So, to conclude all of this for you guys, EMDR has the power and the effect to help people feel empowered by the very experiences that once debased them. As a natural outcome of the EMDR therapeutic process, the client's thoughts, feelings, and behavior are all robust indicators of emotional health and resolution. With EMDR, it's not the talking or the therapeutic homework that does the healing, it's the brain doing its own job to heal. Your wounds won't just close, they actually will transform. And that is what I like to focus my therapy approach on, which is transformation, or as you read it on my other blogs, the metamorphosis. Healing doesn't mean the damage never existed. No, it doesn't. It means that the damage no longer controls our life anymore. I know that this was a lot of information, but the purpose of it was to educate you on how and why EMDR works. And a deeper purpose for me sharing it with you was to give you hope, to tell you that you can truly recover from those negative experiences that have impacted your thought process and decision making today. So please feel free to reach out to me for questions or any consultations. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for spending some of your time today with us at Sage Holistic Health and Wellness Center. If you like what we're all about, please consider supporting our nonprofit organization by making a tax-deductible donation. To do this, you can go to our website at www.sagewellnessctr.org and click on Donate in the upper right-hand corner. We look forward to spending some time again with you real soon. Take good care.